Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today what I want to do is talk about Patek Philippe watches with the Geneva Seal. And the Geneva Seal is four watches that are created in the canton of Geneva. And the quality requirements of it are quite high. And so for a long time, Patek Philippe was the company had the great majority of the Geneva seals. Anyway, in I think around 2009, they lost it. And what happened, it was that they started putting in silicone hairsprings and, among other things, and Patek Philippe and the Geneva Seal Foundation parted ways. However, my first really luxury watch was a Patek Philippe Calatrava, and it had a Geneva Seal on it. And now it had a solid case back, and I couldn't see it, but I had some work done on it so I could and they took a picture of the back, and you could see the Geneva Seal. The Geneva Seal is typically put on the movement. Sometimes, though, it can be put other places as well. Well, what happened was that Patek Philippe was very upset, and so they decided, well, if you're not going to give us a seal, we'll make our own, which to me was one of the more banal moves by Patek Philippe. The reason I say that is that Patek Philippe has had and does have an excellent reputation for making high quality mechanical watches. Um, so the the Geneva Seal on top of that sort of guaranteed it. Well, without the Geneva Seal, Patek Philippe said, well, we're going to have our own seal. And it says PP, which is what it was. I compared it earlier to some kid who wrote a paper on some homework assignment, and he decided to do it on why the teacher has wrinkles. And somehow all of the other kids had a star on their paper when they got it back, but his didn't. And so he went and crying to his mother, says, how come I didn't have a star? And all the other kids did. And, oh, don't worry, honey, we're going to give you our own star. And so the mommy gives the crying child a star. That was the way I look at this whole, what in the world were they thinking, putting on PP on their, on their seal? Anyway, like I said, they didn't need to do it. People know Patek Philippe. They don't need a silly seal like that. And besides, when you give yourself a seal of quality, what does that mean? I mean, every, you know, group-funded, newbie can do that. Okay, enough of that. So it does mean something. It means a certain quality, and I didn't change the quality of Patek Philippe except the silicone hairspring, which of course, I don't want to go into that. However, since I like Patek Philippe, I thought, well, gee, what if I wanted one, but I wanted the one with the Geneva Seal? So I went looking for them, and I picked watches between 1990 and 2009. 2009, some had Geneva seals, some had the PP seal. So it was sort of a two-way street on that one. And so I started with a Calatrava. And I found a Calatrava with the 215 PS Patek Philippe movement, hand wound 4 hertz, 44-hour reserve. Just looking at the back of it, just what a beautiful movement. I mean, the way the bridges and everything else goes, it's really, really a piece of art. Now, to find the Geneva Seal, you've got to really know what to look for, and I finally found one on this particular Calatrava, 36 millimeters, which is small for some. That's sort of my new minimum size for me. I didn't think so before, but then I got a watch, a 36 millimeter Vacheron Constantin Mercator, and that's 36 millimeters, and it worked just fine. So I figured, well, 36 millimeters, that would be still good for, I think, most people, most guys that have it. Anyway, it's in white gold. I think all of the Calatravas are in white gold or yellow gold or rose gold or something like that, or platinum. This one's in white gold. A beautiful watch, and so that was, I found one. Now all of these, I ended up with a whole bunch from Chrono 24, and the reason for that, I was able to search for the date, and this becomes critical. So I said I want to see all Patek Philippe's before such and such a date. One of the problems I kept running into when I went elsewhere, a lot of the Patek Philippe's during that period before 2009 had solid case back. So, what are you going to do? Okay, so that's the Calatrava, was the first one I found. The second one I found was one I really like. This is sort of the before the Nautilus. This is called the Patek Philippe Neptune, reference 5080. $20,000. These things are still very expensive. 37 millimeters in steel. Now I put SP next to it because the seller asked for a suggested price. He said $20,240. You could get into a discussion, I think, for $15,000. You could try it. I'm not saying be successful. I would, if I wanted this particular watch, which I do like, but I'm not particularly crazy about it. But sure enough, there's a Geneva Seal on it. It is sort of a cool watch. It has a micro rotor on it, a 22 caliber carat gold micro rotor. Again, the movement, you can really see that movement. Micro rotors tend to sort of get into the size of the balance. I like big balance wheels, so that can happen. Now, this next one was one that I really, really like. It's a 5124. Now, the thing about the 5124 is that the caliber 25-21 is a shape caliber. There aren't a lot of them. Most tonneau and rectangle shaped Patek Philippe's have a round movement in them. Oftentimes, too, they have a solid back and you can't see what it is. This one, though, is one that I have wanted almost since I've started collecting. It's one of those watches that I wanted, but I never ran out and got. And why didn't I get one? Well, because I found other things I liked, I guess. Watch collection isn't rational, believe me. Anyway, this one, most of them have the PP stamp at the top. This one has a little Geneva Seal at the bottom. This is a good example of a watch that was half and half. I don't know if it's exactly half and half, but some of the ones before 2009, in fact, even some I found at 2009, still had the Geneva Seal. Others have the PP seal on it. This is a watch I just love. This is like the Madison Avenue Mad Men watch, I guess. Okay, so I found it. That's something. Again, on Commodore, on Chrono 24. Okay, finally, this one is another Gondolo. It's called a Calendario. Beautiful, beautiful watch, white gold, 51 by 38 millimeters. And again, the problem was they had the pictures of the Calendario, and they had a picture of the movement, but they took the picture with the rotor covering up the Geneva Seal. So, I finally found one. Here again, this one I found on Chrono 24, 21,703, um, with SP, suggest a price. Maybe on this one suggest 17,000, and whether they go for that or not, I have no idea. But you certainly wouldn't want to not do something like that. This one, probably of all of the ones I found, this is my favorite, even though I'm not crazy about a triple calendar. Uh, but this one's awfully nice. It's a triple calendar and a moon phase. Just a pretty watch. I tell you, a lot of people love the micro rotor. Like I said, the micro rotor to me gets in the way of the size of the balance wheel. This one's got a nice big gold rotor, not in the way. Finding the Geneva Seal on this one, like I said, was pretty difficult. I finally found it and had to blow it up so you could see it, or sort of see it. Caliber 324 SQA LU, what a name. The 24H/303. This is based on the Patek Philippe 324 SC. So, anyway, there you have it. One of the things I think this same caliber movement was used on the Nautilus. And so you take a look at the prices of Nautilus, and this looks like a bargain. Anyway, like to hear from you. What do you think of this whole idea of going after something that has been sort of, I guess, not done away with? The whole Gondolo line was stopped, but not because they had nothing to do with the Geneva Seal, because Calatravas are still around. The earlier ones had Geneva Seals, the later ones didn't. Let me know what you think. This is an opportunity to subscribe if you like. Until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection.